Good day everyone, I am Akab Jill Rose Risguardo and my part is to tackle about the informal channels and policy formulation. So first, let's tackle about the individual citizens. Citizens are involved in making a productive input to public policy. Philippines is a demographic form of government and people are said to be the masters of their own destinies and public opinion plays a major role in policy formulation process. The needs of the citizens is under the government by a way of policy demands and are further shaped by a policy agenda of the political parties. Thus, in a democracy, we as a citizen are the one who initiate in the process of legislation and policy making by voting for candidates whose opinions and values we know. But because it's already practiced, the participation of the citizens in policy formulation is negligible. The individual citizens is hardly significant political force. But it should also be noted that no government, however dictatorial, can afford to go against the wishes and customs of the people. As observed by Parson, the citizens should be seen as someone who are involved in the making of productive input to public policy. The second one is the media. Media bridge the information gap between the citizen and the government. It's because media communicate the information to the citizens about the decisions of the government have taken. At the same time, it is also important that people will determine whether they are politically biased in the presentation of information related to policy issues. The third one is we have the so-called parliamentary system. So, parliamentary system is an effective and efficient system in all matters of legislation and policy formulation. The Philippine system of government is parliamentary type of government, both the century and the state. In this kind of system, if ever the policies are formulated by the government become unacceptable, the Council of Ministers are responsible to it and must even resign in case it loses the confidence of the legislature. The fourth one is we have the so-called federalism. The distribution of power in an organization as a government between a central authority and the constituent units. Though federalism has unitary features, the Philippine constitutional system is basically federal in nature. So usually, the central government enjoys great power for the formulations of policies in the developmental sectors of the economy. However, the implementation of policies involves both the central and the state government, and the two have jointly to share responsibilities for results. But then, in a federal setup, the intergovernmental relations gain a wider significance in policy formulation. Then the last but not the least is the legislature. Legislatures scrutinize the policy proposals put forward by the prime ministers and cabinet members but cannot take the initiative on its own. If the parliament is the supreme policy-making body, then the legislature is the reign supreme. The legislative power resides in the elected members of parliament. So within the powers devolved to them by the Constitution, the parliament is the final determinant of a policy. Since Parliament acts as a final determinant for a national or state policy, more women are represented. It's because women can come up and has a voice with a gender-sensitive policy. So at the same time, Parliament is also described merely as a rubber stamp. This is because in terms of policy matters, the legislature can only influence and does not have direct power, so can only advise and not command policy matters, can just criticize and not obstruct a policy. That's all my part. Thank you.